Hi, everyone. Welcome to our school-wide iReady Diagnostic Growth Goals meeting. I'm Wendy Lizardi, and I will be your presenter. So I bet you're wondering why we're here. Everyone here is amazing. We just have a few little gaps in our iReady diagnostic data for meeting our mid-year growth goals. So we want to go ahead and start interventions now so that we can meet our end of the year goals. So the purpose of this professional development is to use student data to improve instruction and increase student growth. Research shows that professional development is most effective when it's ongoing, collaborative, and focused on student learning outcomes. Teachers benefit from PD that is relevant to their classroom and provides strategies they can implement immediately. So hopefully that's something that we can work together to do today. Using student data helps teachers identify needs, plan instruction, and provide intervention. So this PD is designed to support you in using iReady data to guide instruction and improve student achievement. How will we analyze this data? So we're all familiar with the Atlas protocol. We've used it before several times. So it's a structured process that helps us analyze student data in a collaborative and organized way. So instead of jumping straight to conclusions or solutions, teams are going to describe what we see in the data without making judgment first. Then we will analyze patterns, trends, and gaps. Interpret what the data might mean, and then decide instructional next steps and interventions together. So you have a template for this. I'm going to also give you a handout, and you'll see this on the next slide. I'll give you our iReady data handout. It has our school-wide data, and then it's also broken down by grade level. So go ahead and grab that template handout so you can take your notes on it. And then in this next slide, you'll see what the activity is. So we are going to do a round robin, just like we have our students do in class for AVID with our Kagan structures. So I'm going to give you about 5 minutes of think time to use that handout, both handouts, and individually, so quietly just review the school-wide data. You're going to look for trends, gaps, and areas of need. Consider what trends you notice. How does your grade level compare to school-wide data? Where are your biggest gaps, the school's biggest gaps, and what skills do you think students need the most support in? What instructional changes might help improve growth? So once we do that 5-minute think time, we're going to do a round robin. So each person at your table will have 1 minute to share. We do have a recorder. Your name tag was marked. So recorder will write the findings. And then at the end, we'll have each group share out, and hopefully we see trends within our trends and gaps. So we'll go ahead and start that now. Okay, thank you for sharing all of those findings. Hopefully it kind of goes along with what we're seeing in our instructional coaching and admin side of things as well. So here we have our data. So this slide is showing our school-wide iReady data from the beginning of the year to the middle of the year. We also have on this slide, so we have our actual and then we have our goal for beginning of the year. Here is this column. And then we have over here the goal, and then our actual, and then our goal for end of year, and then we'll actually put our actual here. Lots of actuals. Math growth is definitely lower, and you can see that in the trend. So that's something that I noticed everybody saw. We started low, we're mid-year, still pretty low, although we did grow a lot, more than double. We need to see that increase a lot by the end of the year. So ELA increased much more, but we still didn't meet our goal. So math is significantly lower. Students are growing, but probably not fast enough to meet end of the year goals at our current intervention process, through our current intervention process. Excuse me. So we'll go to our next slide. This data you also had. So the blue bars represent ELA mid-year growth, and the orange represent math. So you can see that we definitely were stronger in our ELA. And as some of our teachers said, that could possibly be because of that push for ELA literacy, science of reading, that kind of thing. So we really need to balance that out now that we've got that down. And we'll go ahead and to the next slide. So those are the trends. Again, this data shows several trends across grade levels. While students are growing, many grade levels are not meeting their growth goals, especially in math. This indicates students need more targeted instruction and intervention. Well, whole group instruction alone will not meet the needs of all students. So therefore, we must do more small group instruction, differentiation, and monitor progress. So for that, we have our SMART goal, and we went ahead and used the hard data for that. So remember, SMART goals are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. So we went ahead and wrote this SMART goal for you. So it is by the end of 2025-2026 for Diagnostic 3, the percentage of students meeting their iReady growth goals will increase from 31% to 55% in ELA and 17 to 50% in math through targeted small group instruction, data-driven PLC planning, and smart intervention support. So there we were very specific. We made our goals measurable in percentage. Our goals are definitely attainable because of the plans that we have and that you will help us make relevant. Our goals are relevant to our needs. So there we go. And then time-based. So this is by the end of the year diagnostic in May. So now you have another activity. You are going to do a think, pair, share with you're going to do think, pair, share with a partner. So I'm going to give you a second to just read that again, highlight any areas that you need to highlight, maybe refer back to that other handout, and then go ahead and when the timer starts, you will share with your elbow partner. So go ahead and read through that. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and do our think, pair, share. So you'll get a minute to 3 minutes to share with a partner about how you think that SMART goal can be met. Okay, ready? Press the timer. Okay, and we're back and we have shared out. Thank you for sharing out. Thank you for your positivity and all your ideas for making that an attainable goal. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide. So now that we have our goal, we need to get into the how. So let's move on to the next slide. The timer. There we go. So first, let's identify the stakeholders and their responsibilities. So this is definitely a school-wide responsibility. It's just not on the teacher alone. So student growth is at the center. Teachers are going to provide instruction, small group support, and monitoring the students' progress. Students have a big stake in this as well. We need to promote that student agency that we talk about all the time with AVID. So we want them setting goals and tracking their learning so that they can take ownership of their growth. Administrators will support teachers through enforcing protected time for intervention, professional development, resources, and intervention programs. PLC teams will collaborate to analyze data and plan instruction, while intervention staff will provide targeted support for struggling students. Families will also support learning at home through those diagnostic family reports that we give them, the growth monitoring report, and tips and tricks that we give them to work on through their HOC work or homework. When all stakeholders work together, student achievement and growth improve. And that's a quote from Hattie. So our action steps. So a lot of you helped brainstorm this, and this is what we've come up with. So we're going to administer the iReady growth assessment at the end of third quarter. This is something that's new for us. We haven't, I apologize for the extra noise. We haven't done a progress monitoring yet, and I think that it's very important for us to use that. It will give us data just like a diagnostic would, to be able to move forward. So we will create flexible small groups based on student needs, provide targeted instruction for all skill gaps, and this is all after the PLC reviews the data from the progress monitoring. Teachers will provide the intervention and monitor regularly. And then at each PLC, you'll have data discussions and instructional planning to adjust that instruction as needed. Follow-up professional development and instructional coaching will support teachers as they implement these strategies. So again, research shows that instruction based on student data and ongoing PLC significantly improve student achievement and teacher practice. So breaking it down even further, and make sure that this doesn't shut off on me. Breaking it down even further, our first strategy. So things you can take away today. We are going to administer that growth monitoring, and then you will meet with your PLC and you will implement small group instruction based on that data. So flexible grouping, we want to make sure that kids move in and out depending on what their needs are. Small group is one of the most effective strategies for improving student achievement. Students receive instruction targeted to their specific needs, and teachers are there to give timely feedback. Groups should be flexible and change based on student progress and data, like I said. We can reteach, provide intervention, and challenge advanced students. So let's go ahead and look at the next strategy. Strategy 2 is that data-driven PLC piece. So nobody's working on an island. We're going to work together to identify essential standards and identify the students that need intervention to reaching those standards. We're going to plan the reteach lessons together, share instructional strategies that are working, and continue to monitor the progress and adjust instruction. So let's go ahead and look at the next slide. So this is kind of like a little timeline of what our cycle will look like, our implementation cycle. So we're going to administer the growth assessment, analyze the data in PLC meetings, and adjust, plan, all the good things. We'll make our small groups, make them flexible, move students in and out as needed. We'll monitor their progress regularly and have those groupings be flexible. And then we will follow up. We'll have sustained professional development. So our next Wednesday meeting in 4 weeks, we will revisit this and see how everything is going throughout our PLCs. And then lastly, that seems to be it. So if anyone has any questions or concerns about that, definitely we have some time now to address those, but always feel free to contact me and I will push into PLCs as needed to help with that instructional planning. And you have my email address. So please feel free to email me, invite me to meetings one-on-one, to help with the group, to model a lesson, anything that you guys need. So thank you so much for attending this PLC today. I appreciate your time. Thank you.